Hey everyone, this is my Bulova Accutron watch. This is a Spaceview Model 214G. It is from the 1960s with the Bulovas on the back and the case. There's a serial number down at the bottom, and underneath that is a code M6, which means the case on this watch, M is for the 60s and 6 is for the year, so it's a 1966 manufactured case. It's a stainless steel case. Anyway, this is from 1966. I've had the back off of it, and on the movement inside, the movement is actually coded with M7, meaning that it was manufactured in 1967, which apparently is not uncommon with these watches because they'll have the parts manufactured and on the shelf and put them together. So it was probably put together in 67, but it is identified as a 1966 model because of the coating on the case. But I've had this watch, it was handed down to me in the late 70s, and I wore it for many years. My father wore it before me. He was a long distance trucker, and so it's seen a lot of use and abuse over the years. And you can tell how much it has been through when you look at the crystal. Let's see if we get it focused in here on the crystal. The crystal is showing, let me zoom in a little bit here. The crystal shows a ton of scratches and micro scratches on it. The crystal on these was an acrylic crystal, which marks up fairly easily, but the good part about that is when they are struck or banged against something, they don't shatter, they crack. And as you can see on this one, there are a couple of cracks. There's one right here, down between 4 and 5, and then there's also one up here along the top, between 12 and 2. It's obviously been banged against something right against the corner of the crystal, and it cracked down on that but did not shatter. I would love to get a new crystal for it, but they don't manufacture the original parts on these anymore. They stopped manufacturing the Spaceview back in 1977. So like I said, I would love to get a new crystal for it, but I doubt that I could find one, and if I did, I know I couldn't afford it. So what I am going to do, I've been researching it, and I am going to, you can see in that angle there, all of the scratches on it. Some of them are deep enough that you can feel with your fingernail. The rest of them are a lot of micro scratches all over the top. And what I'm going to do is, after researching it, the most recommended thing that I found is something called Polywatch. And it's a mild, got a mild abrasive inside this liquid. And it is to polish off very minor scratches on acrylic crystals. It doesn't work on glass crystals or the sapphire crystals, but it is made to be used on the acrylic crystals. So what I'm going to do is try out the Polywatch and see if I can buff out some, hopefully most of these scratches. I know what I will probably have to do to get out the deeper scratches is to go the sandpaper route, using 600, 1200 grit sandpaper. But I don't quite have the nerve to try that. I really don't want to mess up and damage it permanently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the Polywatch, and they usually say between 5 and 10 minutes of buffing, hard buffing, to get out the majority of the scratches. So I'm going to give that a shot today and see if we can clean up this crystal a little bit. And what you are supposed to do with the Polywatch is first massage the tube a little bit to mix up the abrasives that are suspended in this. And then what we're going to do is to place a decent amount just directly on the crystal itself. And then we will take a piece of cotton. People use towels, terry cloth, microfiber cloths. What I usually find for stuff like this is an all cotton t-shirt. Gives the softest and cleanest surface to work with. So we're going to give this a try. And I'm going to start doing this, and then I will probably go off camera and continue on, because I'm sure I will have to buff for quite a while. But what we're going to do is just take this and get it all over the crystal and begin buffing. And then as that absorbs in to the cotton fabric, we'll add more to this, and I'm sure we'll have to add this several times. I did buy a 2-pack of this. It's not a very big tube, so I bought a 2-pack just in case. Got it off of Amazon. It was like $6 something a tube. So if it works, it is money well spent, obviously. So I give it plenty of pressure, and I don't want to get too aggressive with anything because of the cracks in the sides of the crystal. I don't want to do anything to aggravate that or damage the crystal even further. So I will work with this for a while. Actually, just after this short time, it looks like some of the very fine micro scratches on it are already starting to come out. So I'm going to go off camera and work on it, and I will be back and show you what ends up happening with it. I've been buffing on this crystal for just a few minutes, probably 3 minutes of good pressure on it to work the Polywatch on the crystal. And I've got to tell you, there is already improvement coming through. Again, some of those micro scratches have already worked out. You can still see there's obviously the deep scratches that are still in there, and I'm going to have to work on this a while, like right there. And that one right there almost looks like an F on the crystal. But anyway, I'll give it 10 minutes or so working it, and I will be back on to show any progress. Okay, well, I'm back, and I've been working on this since 1/4 till, so it's been 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 25 minutes, with a few micro breaks in there. Arm gets tired doing this. I have to tell you, I am absolutely bowled over and amazed at how this worked. You know, maybe these scratches weren't as deep as I thought they were, um, or this product just works like a dream. Maybe a combination of both. Let me pull in here and show you up close. If you remember the scratches that were on it, there was just a haze over the whole crystal to begin with. And I am just amazed. I never thought that it would have this kind of a result. This crystal looks amazing. I can see the two cracks in it a little clearer because they were blocked by some of the other little scratches on them, and there's still a little bit of haze on the sides here. I'll go through and clear that off completely, but when you look at this, it is just absolutely amazing. There is one scratch right there that I will have to work on yet. It's not even a scratch really, it's more of just a little pit there from a scratch. And that is about the only thing that I can see on here that needs to be worked on anymore. But I've got to tell you, I am just amazed at how this has worked. I would recommend anyone that has a scratched acrylic crystal, again, only on acrylic, to give this a try before you do anything else, before you jump into buying a new crystal or going the sandpaper route and being so aggressive on it. Like I said, with these cracks, I didn't want to be overly aggressive because I didn't want to aggravate them and make them worse. I am so glad that I gave this a try. Again, I am just amazed at the job that this did in cleaning up this crystal. It literally looks brand new. There's that little teeny pit that I have to work on yet. So I'll give that a few more minutes of rubbing. I did probably 7 applications. That sounds like a lot, but the results are just amazing. It looks great. I couldn't be more pleased with how this went. So I recommend anyone give it a try. Give it a try before you do anything drastic with it. And that's it for today. Thanks. Well, I just had to hop back on here for a second. I worked on this crystal probably another 10 minutes, and I even got that little pit out. There's just the faint hint of it there, which I am not worried about at all. I just think it looks amazing. I can't believe what it did to restore this crystal. I'm just speechless. So I just wanted to let you know that I finished up with this and tell you how pleased I am at the outcome. So everyone have a good day, and I'll see you again.